Hey, what's going on, guys? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here.
Hey, what's up, guys? So in today's video, we're going to cover lead leg block. Like, what is it? How do we accomplish it? And why is it important? So first of all, what is it? Lead leg block, it's basically once foot strike occurs, right? If you're on the mound, you go through your delivery, foot strike occurs on the front end, okay? You're going to land basically on a soft knee, okay? Firm front side is basically, once you start rotating the torso, is this leg going to firm up for me? I'm able to throw over out in front of it, right? So that leg kind of locks up, kind of firms up on you. Now, why is it important? Basically, whenever that front leg block happens, our front half is going to be able to fire over that front side, and we're going to be able to convert energy at a super high level and apply that energy and force into the baseball, which kind of translates into velocity. It's one of the most important aspects of the pitching delivery, is being able to get to front foot strike and being able to get into a firm front leg once we get to ball release and timing that up. Now, how do we get there? That is really a byproduct of force production and proper sequencing, right? The firming up of that front leg. If we don't sequence properly and we don't sequence from the areas that we're supposed to, and if the force isn't applied in the area that they're supposed to, we're more than likely never going to get there. You're going to hear a lot of people say that guys who don't get there typically don't have the strength and able to sustain that, which in my opinion is like the possibility of that happening is super, super low. You not being able to be strong enough to get to that position, super, super low. So we really have to understand where that sequencing comes from, and it comes from like the pelvic region. So the pelvic region, here's a little tip, right? If we land on a soft front knee, so if my knee is soft on the front side and I counter rotate my shoulders, okay, where is the energy production coming from in order for me to firm up that front leg? Comes from here. Okay, so if you get to this area, you can try this at home, literally. If you think consciously, how am I going to rotate? I'm going to rotate with the pelvis. If you start rotating with the pelvis, you'll see that the rotation of the pelvis actually moves the femur and you firm that front leg properly. Okay, now if I get, again, back to that same position of counter rotation and I'm thinking rotating with the shoulders, I can't get there. If I rotate with the shoulders, I become a rotational arm. Right? And if I become a rotational arm, I'm more than likely never going to be able to have the ability to get the firm front leg at pitch release. Okay, so you got to think, once we get the foot strike, okay, you got that hip to shoulder separation, which is very important. This is part of the sequencing. Getting to hip to shoulder separation like this, where the legs are traveling forward and the upper half is resisting that forward move of the lower half. Once I get here, is my pelvis, do I have the awareness within my pelvis to start rotating that pelvis forward? My arm is still cocked back. Now my arm's getting into external rotation through the throwing zone and my front side firms up, right? That may sound kind of convoluted, but that's the way you got to think about it. Rotation activated through the pelvis. Rotation activated through the pelvis once foot strike happens. Once foot strike happens, that's exactly where we want our energy source to come from. It's from the pelvic region. And then the upper half has no choice but to keep going at that point, right? So just think, foot strike, hip to shoulder separation, the rotation is activated through the pelvis. All of that trickles up and all of that kinetic energy comes all the way up through my hand. And if I sequence properly and I have the proper force coming from the proper body parts, I'm gonna be able to firm up my front leg. If I do not sequence properly, the ability to firm up that front leg is going to be so much harder, so much harder. So it's typically not a strength and stability issue. It's a force production sequencing issue where guys can't firm up their front leg. Okay, so I hope these tips work and help you out. Do me a favor, smash that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. I'll see you guys later.